Hello guys and welcome, and today we're going to test out my Super M.A.C. Accelerator cannon. Now, on the end of this thing we have 4 missile pods for laser guidance. They're not really meant to be fired, but you can if you want. Inside here we have the gravity generators all the way up and along here, which propel the projectile at its target at a max speed with very accurate precision, actually. Now it looks like I've actually loaded this off center here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to show you how to load this thing. Now here we have 2 of the normal slugs. I have made other slugs, but for this testing purpose, they don't really make sense. Like I have an exploding one, but it's not really that effective. These are more effective than the exploding ones. So we'll take this, and because of space constraints, it's kind of hard. Well, it's not hard to load them. It's just you can't have any kind of autoloader, so you have to do it by hand, and that can be tricky sometimes. There we go. So you load that in there, push the second button here to lock it in place, and then what you want to do is you want to fly way back up here, because the control room in the actual station, because it's so far down and the shaft is incredibly massive, you can't see over it, and you need there to be a second cockpit further up. So what I've done is I've made a little gunner cockpit thing way up here, and this is what you actually aim from. Now you can actually fire the cannon from here, and you can do all that stuff from in here. You just need to either have someone load it for you, or to go down and load it yourself, which I've done. So now that it's loaded, we can take a look at it. With number 5 here, I've placed the camera very strategically. So we go into this view here, we turn on the missiles, and then we aim this bad boy. Now you can see them over there. Now, this front of the part ship here is the thickest armor, so that's what I'm actually going to be aiming for. Where you see Griffin class is actually where the bridge is, but we're not testing to see if it can take out the ship, we're testing to see how far this ammo can actually go. So, now that we're aiming at it, take a look at our stuff to make sure everything's okay, which it is. And we want to push number 2 to actually load it up into the shaft. And I'm actually not entirely sure if I left the gravity generators on. So let's take a quick look. I did not. Good. So, get back in. Keep pushing the wrong buttons. So there we go. And it bounces a little bit. I'm not sure why. There's no gravity in there, but it bounces. And I've done everything I can to try and fix this. It just bounces. Not sure why. So you have to wait until it stops bouncing. It usually takes a couple seconds. After it's done, you can push number 3 here, and then number 2, and take a look at it, and it's just sitting there. Then, all you have to do to fire is push number 4. So let's get out and do a nice little viewing angle. Push number 4. Wait for it to come out. It takes a second or 2 to gain speed, and then out it goes. Look how fast the thing goes. That is max speed. It may not look like it, but that's just because it's such a large object. It's actually going 104 meters per second, and you'll see that explosion is quite satisfying. It's a decently large explosion. So, let's go and look how much damage it did. I'm going to predict it did about 3 whole layers of damage. It left a meaty hole. I have tested this before. It does about 3 layers through heavy armor, so I guess we'll have to see. Alright. Oh, you know what? Wow. Look at that. Look at that prime aim job right there. I actually hit the blast door inside that actually stops people from going in through this ship's M.A.C. cannons, because it actually has M.A.C. cannons as well. They're smaller size, and the projectiles are smaller, and they don't go as fast, but they still do lots of damage. But it's actually really unlucky that I hit this thing, and I'm actually quite surprised that I did. But as you can see, it actually still did quite a bit of damage. and if it hadn't hit the blast door, it would have went right inside to the loading room to the MAC cannon, which would have basically taken it offline. You wouldn't have been able to fire it anymore. So, you got 1 layer, 2, 3 whole layers, which I had thought completely destroyed, and I'm pretty sure it damages a 4th. That's usually what I've been getting before when I had been testing. So, as you can see, it's quite the effective weapon. It's very accurate. It goes straight as an arrow until, of course, it hits its target. And let's take a look at the actual projectile. Yeah, look at it. It got pretty much destroyed. So what this thing is, it is a solid, heavy armor slug, basically, with some artificial mass and some generators inside to power them. It's not very complicated, it's just a very heavy thing, and you shoot it, and this is what happens. You get a decently sized hole and lots of damage. So if I were to hit, say, the bridge here, this isn't actually the bridge, this is a fake bridge or an observation deck. Right behind that Griffin class on the other side is where the actual bridge is. So right about here is where the actual bridge is. But we can showcase this ship in a future episode, because I have quite a few variants of this slug for these smaller MAC cannons. But thank you guys for watching, and if you would like to download this Super M.A.C. Accelerator cannon, I will leave a link in the description to the Steam Workshop page. Please be sure to leave a like if you liked this, and leave a comment saying if you want more. Because, as you know, I have lots more stuff to show. So thank you guys for watching.